welcome back to another episode of Faithful to the Traitors. I'm Ben, and I am 100%, guys, I'm faithful, but I'm not too sure about you.
How dare you? I'm Alex.
Why did you react like that?
Because if I don't react, you think I'm being too quiet and shy, and if I do,
But if you do react, I'm suspicious.
or if I talk 100 million words a minute like Meryl. Poor Meryl.
You haven't even said your name yet.
Oh, sorry. Hello, I'm Alex.
That's suspicious.
God, if you think about it, how far we've come from episode 1, where they were blaming people because they didn't lift up a glass, to
When
now...
they only had one hand, yeah.
Yeah, and now they're accusing them on everything, and it was such a mess. The round table this week.
Yeah, I mean,
episode.
the round table, it was, it feels like a long time because there's been a gap, hasn't there? It feels like a week, but no, it's only been a day. The round table's different, I thought, to other round tables. I feel it started off a bit calmer, and like people were sitting, taking turns, listening. They had their hands clasped together, just listening to what people had to say. And I think Amos is quite the leader. Amos, is that what his name is? Amos. It's like when I used to call Thingy Irvine. It's all gone wrong. Anyway, he seems to calm people down and be quite leadery, and he's allowed that round table to calm itself down to begin with. But then when it actually comes down to like pointing a finger at someone, that's when it all explodes, doesn't it?
Well, it's funny because he came back with Kieran. And Kieran doesn't seem to be doing anything. He's just they keep showing shots of him. He's just watching. Mate. No, he's not even that. He doesn't get involved with anything.
Lads.
No, he doesn't know. He doesn't get involved with absolutely anything. He just stands there. He wore his mirrored sunglasses.
That's a good tactic.
Well, no. See, as soon as I saw those mirrored sunglasses, I thought if I was in that group right now, I'd be blaming him for being a traitor just because he was wearing those mirrored sunglasses. What is this, 1990?
Trying to hide his
Come on,
who he's
Kieran, sort yourself out. No, he's being. It's weird. He's being really quiet and not getting involved at all, and none of the group seem to be noticing that. But they're blaming and accusing other people for being traitors for that very reason. So what's Kieran doing? That's kind of keeping
the
him in
only
the shadow?
reason Kieran is because he came in late, as in he went and then came back.
No one cares.
So people were a bit like, well, he's not a traitor, so they're kind of just letting him go at the
Amos
moment.
is getting involved. He's rubbing skin cream onto his chest.
I know, the montages were back.
Montages are back. The
shower
montages.
last time. Now he's massaging his oils in. What's it going to be next time?
I mean,
brushing his hair.
It's a shame.
That's what Alex was doing this week, wasn't she? She was brushing her hair.
She was really pulling down in her hair as well. There must have been a lot of knots in that hair.
I know, Amos
Poor
is really
Alex.
getting the full show going for us.
So
can't vote him off now. They've got these montages to get
through. Well, they
through.
don't know this. They don't know.
There's a story there.
The traitors don't know the montages are happening, do
Yeah,
they?
but the producers are making a story. He's had a shower, now he's dried himself. What next?
He's been dripping wet for the last 2 days. He's just dripping everywhere. No, Amos, I love Amos because he's really getting involved and he's getting into the group, and I think the group appreciate it. And as you say, he's like Maddie. I love Maddie's self-titled herself Maddie Marple now. And I feel like Amos is the same, but people are more accepting of his advice. Not that it's any more correct.
His advice is a bit calmer, where hers is a bit sporadic, where she kind of just points a finger at like 7 people at once and then sees what happens.
His is more considerate as well, as in like he kind of... Maddie's a bit like, I think you're a traitor, and then just kind of drops a bombshell and then just watches that fall out and not really care. But Amos, he kind of says it in a very... Because he went for poor old... sorry for saying old there, but he went for Andrea, didn't he? And Andrew is his friend, and I think Andrew was really quite upset that he did that.
I was wondering if he was doing that as like a way to, in a weird way, to protect her, because he was like, right, no one's pointing fingers at her, so she may get murdered, so I'm going to make her defend herself so people see. I kind of saw it like that. I don't think there was any malice behind it. But also this episode was the first time I feel where like you're starting to know the contestants as like people, where they're not just there just to be murdered, killed, banned. Like, do you know what I mean? You're starting to get everyone's backstory and starting to really like these people as like people rather than just contestants on a
Well-rounded
game
characters.
show. Yeah, because you're getting a bit of backstory with. You got Andrea backstory this week.
She just made me love her more, Andrea. She's such a lovely character. The fact she lost her partner and she wanted a new adventure and she wanted to prove that she still had it in her, and it's just so sweet just hearing about her. But then you also, as you said, you learned more about people. You learned more about Ryan this week, and poor Ryan didn't work out very well for
they're
him.
accusing of him kind of came out of nowhere.
This is what I mean. What they're accusing Ryan to have done for the reason why he's being the finger pointed at him for being a traitor is pretty much what you could point the finger at a lot of people for doing. So why have they singled Ryan out? It feels like he was a target for a couple of episodes, a couple of days now. And
although the Welsh Dragon did mention him around the table,
Amanda's just outstanding.
Very subtly.
This week, I must stop saying this week. This episode, I noticed that Amanda is a great traitor. She's a great game player. She's good at lying. She's good at bluffing. She's good at making a manipulation within the group. While I think that Wilf he's lucking. He seems to stumble into luck and stumble into being safe. And last episode where he, got one of his fellow traitors out, I feel like that was more luck. He got away with it rather than tactful. I don't think he's smart enough. I'm sorry, Wilf, if you're listening to this, but I don't think you're that smart. I just think that you're very lucky that you have Amanda, who's a very strong counterpart, who's at the moment on your side. And as I said on the last episode, I think that it will only take a small thing to break Amanda, and then she'll fall out with Wilf. And I could honestly see Amanda being a traitor, being a one-woman army, and just eliminating people on her own.
It's strange that no one's ever just said to her, "Oh, why don't you defend?" Like what they did to Andrea. No one's ever done that to Amanda, where they're like, "Oh, let's just say you're a traitor. Can you defend yourself just to prove it to us?" That's never even come up. I don't know if I'd find that suspicious if I was there. Like, she's the only one who's never had.
But they're not suspicious of her because
I know.
So there's
you wouldn't
no
be
reason
because
for suspicion.
she plays it so well, doesn't she?
She just plays it excellently.
Because she even announced her outrage at something, didn't she? Which is something that she did.
Alex at the round table she talked to Amos at the beginning of the day and said, I got invited
because
she
denied being a traitor, didn't she?
And
she said no.
rejected them. She didn't want to be one, which I must say I was very surprised by.
I know.
I was very surprised.
I probably would have if I was in the game.
No,
you're better off being a traitor, I think, because there's less chances of people killing you. There's only one chance to get rid of you if you're a traitor, and that's being banished around the round table. Whereas if you're a traitor, you can murder and banish.
But I think you've got to be a bit more strong-willed if you're going to do that. And also, I think Alex it's funny because I think Alex has been welcomed into the group, and I think now Alex.
Yeah, she played her game too well, where she couldn't really afford to then backtrack her lies.
She got away with the whole being in a relationship story and lying to the group to begin with. She got away with that, and I think she likes the position she's now in within the group, and that is that she's trusted. And she is still trusted, and I think that's one of the main reasons why she decided that she wanted to tell the group that she had been invited, and she rejected it. She was worried that they wouldn't believe her, but I genuinely feel like they do believe her.
It was a risky thing because the way she was really questioning it, because that could have been taken as, oh, you accepted, but you're telling us you didn't.
You could be bluffing. Or as Amos said, triple bluffing. I mean, this is what the show has turned into now. It's like, in the first couple of episodes, it was like, oh, I feel this person's bluffing. I feel this person's bluffing. Then it moved on to, I think they're double bluff. I think it's a double bluff there. And now we're into triple bluffing. This is how much manipulation and conspiracy and mind fuckery to be fair.
Even stuff like during the mission when they were doing the barrels, like Alex was like, well, if one person says they don't want the armory, they don't want the shield, they want the money, that means they could be a traitor because they don't care about being murdered because they're a traitor and they can't be murdered. And then Hannah was said, oh, should we just not do the armory? Because she was tired. And Alex was like, why do you think that? She's like, nah, but that never got brought up around the round table. I thought that may have been brought up with
Alex kind of asking questions about the armory. I mean, also they got 3 armory barrels. So in the challenge, just quickly sum up in the challenge, they had to do almost like an obstacle course around the forest, around the castle to get to this
different
old
sized
distillery.
barrels.
And different sized barrels.
Big vary of size.
I love that Meryl had the wheelbarrow.
I know, and she went past
happy.
first, didn't she?
She was so happy with that wheelbarrow. She was like, I've done something. I've helped. I've contributed this week.
And the £4,000 barrels was huge.
That was a very big, a giant barrel. Meryl is like my favourite person on the challenges because it's everything. She always does something a bit funny on them. Like last one when she was in the grave and she was like over explaining what the symbol on the shield looked like. But yeah, they had to roll the barrel through all kinds of stuff, didn't they? They had to go over a river.
Yeah, they got wet in the river.
Yeah, wet in the river.
Wet in the river.
They had to roll it through some mud. They had to carry it over a stile.
And it was for ages. Like, what was it, 90 minutes?
It was a 90-minute challenge. It was quite a long way they had to go.
Yeah, I would not do that.
No.
It looks way too much effort. I would have just quit and then everyone would think I'm a traitor.
No, I don't think that would have been the case. But they made a lot of money. They made 8,500. So they must have missed a few barrels along the way.
Well, they forfeited some, didn't they?
But they went for the bigger barrels, didn't they? In the end, apart from old Meryl, as we said, who went for the
wheelbarrow,
the wheelbarrow full of barrels. But yeah, I mean, like I said, they had to roll it through some very dodgy things, didn't they?
Oh, I just realised.
I've been trying to hint at it for the last 5 minutes.
Sorry, I was too engrossed in our conversation that I didn't get your hint. Like you were looking at me, I was like, "What? The cat doing something?" Oh no, wait! I just messed that up. This is what you're waiting for.
That's actually poo.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah, once more.
That's actually poo.
Yeah, they're rolling it through all sorts of stuff, weren't they?
Yes, they again. Maddie Marple deducted that it was poo that they were rolling it.
And Amanda said it was pig's poo.
Pig's poo.
That's actually poo.
So yeah, that was a fun challenge. I liked this challenge actually. I know you said 90 minutes was a bit of a long time, but
I know it was good for me to watch, but I couldn't be bothered to do it.
And I thought it was really interesting. Like they saw when they were doing the challenge, they saw the teamwork they were doing together and how they worked very well together. And as you said, this episode was very much. They were quite a mellow group. Like even at the breakfast table, they didn't really argue very much. Normally, I feel
like they're getting a bit tired now.
Oh God, yeah,
they're a bit tired of all this.
But normally, one argument kind of breaks out, and they kind of get wound up by one thing or another. Especially the fact that they were told by Claudia that they had to work out why no one had left last night. No one had been murdered, and obviously they found out from Alex that she'd been recruited, but she denied it. But you think that would trigger perhaps even a kind of long form discussion in some way, but it really didn't. And then, as you say, that there was a good teamwork. But for me, I think that challenge was also an opportunity for people to kind of spot if maybe people weren't. There was kind of like not a teamwork element there. I don't know. It's like it was. I would have thought that it would have been a good way of seeing like. Because there's an argument there. Would the traitors deliberately try to
get the money and not the armory?
Yeah, exactly.
Well, that's what Alex was saying, wasn't she? That's what she was on the lookout for when she was blaming Hannah.
But then when Alex was moaning about that, saying like, "Oh, I want to go for the armory barrels," then when they went to the bit where they said like, "Who wants to go into the armory to see who can get the shield?" Alex didn't put herself forward to then try to get it because she was. Rightly worried that she was going to be up for the murder this episode.
Well, she should have went up for it, shouldn't she? Because in the end, she's up there. It's either her or Amos, isn't it?
Amos, yeah.
Amos. Is it Amos?
Yeah, it's Alex or Amos. Alex or Amos is up for it right now.
Well, we have to say, actually, before we talk about those two, the one that actually went, the faithful.
I am the faithful. Good night.
Good night. Do you think he's Anne Robinson on The Weakest Link there, does he? Yeah, so Ryan went, didn't he? He pleaded his case. He convinced Faye after she came in and made him look her in the eye in the room and be like, "Tell me you're not a traitor." And he did, and he convinced her, but not enough people because, well, Amanda put it in everyone's head, basically. And then, he was faithful. So he's another one gone. And they all look so upset. It's so funny when they sit there and vote.
Well,
And they have all this bitching session. And then when he goes up there to talk before he's even said it, they're all looking there like, oh, what have I done? It's like, you did it, all you lot. Looking there all sad.
Well, Ryan's exit reminded me, not of Anne Robinson, but reminded me of a young Peggy Butcher when she was like, I hope you enjoyed the fireworks. Good night. That's who he reminded me of.
I am the faithful. Good night.
She's just slapped Claudia.
I was going to say, all you needed was Claudia to kind of step forward and have a good slap round her, and then watch her fringe kind of swing to one side. I would have enjoyed that from Ryan. Yeah, no, I thought that was horrible that they all ganged up on Ryan, but it was inevitable because they'd been doing it slowly for the last 2 days. The last 2 days, the first day was quiet, and they've been kind of pointing him out. And I think Ryan was even desperately trying to convince everyone before the round table because Amos, you see,
I quite liked him. This was the first episode where I've really paid attention to him, but I think he is actually going to be quite good if he's not. That's the trouble. If you're too good, then you get murdered, don't you? That's the trouble.
But this
you
is
don't
it.
get banished, but you get murdered.
But Maddie is we've kind of argued that she's right, but she's doing it the wrong way.
If she's starting to wind people up, though,
she's winding people up, and I think Meryl was noticing that too because there was this really
she gets wound up so quickly. It's
really
so funny.
she does.
It's not funny because it must be so annoying. Like keep getting blamed like for no like literally doing nothing, and like Maddie keeps doing it to her.
Maddie goes straight for her. I mean, it's good for Aaron and for God, why do I keep forgetting his name? That's
But
really
I
bad.
think you actually made a monumental fuck up.
Wilfred.
Wilfred, yes, thank you, Andrea. Yes, I had. Wilfred is good for Aaron and Wilfred because now the shade is coming off.
They've turned it back on and put it back to them.
Yeah, Meryl. So Meryl is good. But did you notice that when Maddie got voted tonight, Meryl kind of had this really kind of
she played
grinchy-
Rita on EastEnders, the homeless woman.
She did, and a woman who had no womb in Casualty.
That was it.
Meryl had this kind of really kind of Grinch-like smile on her face because she thought, oh, hang on, people are ganging up against Maddie now, the woman with no womb.
She was being a bit too cocky. Like
Maddie
she's been
Marple.
cocky since like episode 1 or 2, hasn't she, Maddie? With
I
her
don't think it's
predictions.
cockiness. I don't think it's cockiness. I think to begin with, she was
She's
kind of
quick
impressed.
to point the finger, though.
She's gone in there though, which if you arguably with the right attitude, which is she's gone in there looking for the traitors.
That's suspicious. If you were Maddie, you'd find that suspicious.
Do you think Maddie stares at herself in the mirror and goes, "You're a traitor"?
Yeah, that's odd.
You're a bit odd. The lady with no womb, the homeless woman from EastEnders. Why did she bring that up? I felt like that was a bit weird. That kind of like.
She's proud of her.
I know it's in the edit.
No, it's because she
doesn't
said
choose what to get
because
put
she's
in,
an
but-
actress, she can see if people are acting.
Acting, Well, she's yeah, but this is it. She's kind of getting it right, but with the wrong reason. So I think she's.
Well, I don't want her to get anyone convinced because if she gets rid of Wilfred, she's the one that wants to get rid of Aaron, and Aaron is so sweet. Bless him.
I know.
Just leave him alone, bully.
know. It's getting it the right way round, though. Really, the problem is if she went.
Because he went for her, didn't he, Aaron, this week? Didn't he vote for her just because he said you're annoying? Also, he
Yes,
was like, I
no,
don't
he
even think
did.
you're a traitor. I'm just going to vote you out because you're
This-
annoying me.
I know Aaron turned, didn't he? It's like in episode 2, he was literally having a breakdown and had to be seen by the medical crew because he got so upset by John. And now tonight, again in quite a vicious scowl on his face, he kind of said, "I'm just sick and tired of her
Doing my head in."
She's doing my head in.
Fair
I'm
enough.
voting Maddie. I know."
And Meryl was like, yes.
That's
clap,
it.
clap, clap.
That's when Meryl started like smiling. She was like, "Yeah, I agree with you there." But like you say, Meryl was kind of.
Well,
Meryl
didn't
can be a
Aaron
little
then
bit
turn on Meryl because
Meryl,
he
yeah.
said, you talk really fast, so that's suspicious or something?
Did he talk too fast and is really irritating?
She does
me?
talk very fast.
She does, doesn't she? As soon as you said,
That's my next sound clip.
She's. It's like someone's put 50p on her. Like she just goes. She just goes for it. Give her a wheelbarrow and then she'll be all right. She just needs to push a wheelbarrow around the castle a few times, let off some steam, and she'll be fine.
Oh, yeah. So who do you think is going to go then? Who's going to be murdered? Because they had the chance to recruit or murder. You know, Alex turned them down yesterday. So
Well, see,
they're like, no, we're going to murder then.
But Alex had such a valuable playing card tonight, having known that she'd been recruited, and also telling the group. I think this was such an opportunity for her, because she even said, she's like, after she announced it, she said, she stopped talking. She said, "Oh, I'm sorry, I'm just looking to see your expressions." But she didn't. I feel like that was a false threat, because she then didn't follow up with anything.
Probably because there's nothing to show, because
Yeah, but you
they're
should
all
look
react.
for that. But this is another
Well,
thing.
Ryan didn't react, and look what happened to him.
But this is another thing I noticed with Kieran tonight at the round table, when Ryan stood up and just before he made his announcement, I feel like Kieran is one to watch with his mirrored glasses, because I think that he's watching people quietly in the background, and at the round table he watched everyone as Ryan was making his announcement. And he was seeing how people were reacting before Ryan said if he was and that's what I would do. I would see, because the only people who know if they're faithful or traitors are the traitors. So you need to look at the people's reactions and
before it's happened.
see which ones are fake and which ones are real. The round table is the only time you have the opportunity to spot that. Everyone's too focused on the person announcing whether they're a traitor or a faithful, when people's attention should really be on each other and looking at each other. Like that Spider-Man meme where everyone, like the three Spider-Men are like pointing to one another. They should.
You've got to be looking at the right person, though. That's the trouble.
Yeah, but you've got plenty of time. There's been 7 round tables. This is episode 7 or 8.
7?
So there's been that many round tables now.
Not for Kieran, though, because he missed on 5 of them.
That's true. That's
So
true.
he's still,
so he's making up for lost time. But as I say, Alex had a valuable asset tonight to kind of eke out some more information. I don't think she used it very well. I'm not surprised that the traitors are threatening to kill her, because if I was a traitor, I would kill her.
Yeah.
But I would have also reconsidered re-asking her to joining him, because I think that would have been interesting. Would she have rejected it a second time?
I think she would have. She was quite clear that she wasn't interested. I would have murdered Alex, because I would have been like, this is a warning to everyone. the terminology on this show is so dangerous. I'd murder her. I'd kill her. I would have, because it would have been like, this is to tell everyone, if we ask to recruit you, you don't say no, because you get murdered.
But that's a threat and a half, isn't it?
Exactly. That's the point, isn't it?
Well, not really, because surely you want to get people in your little collective out of
You
good
trust.
faith.
Yeah, you can't trust any of these lot. I'd recruit Meryl. Actually, no, I would not recruit Meryl.
I would not be recruiting Meryl.
She'd be murdered within a second.
You'd actually do the murder in front of her. You're just like, no, Meryl, we're just going to murder you. But you can't do that. We're all traitors. Nah, you're all right.
I don't know who I'd recruit. Or maybe someone like Theo, because he's like quite innocent and no one really suspects him.
Yeah, but
and I think he may accept it. I think the temptation may be there for him.
I don't think he would. I don't think he's strong enough, and I think he knows he's not strong enough.
I mean, it's the halfway point of the game now. So do you think their alliances are now set and recruiting is not an option? Do you think? Do you think people are too set as, I'm a faithful, I'm halfway through, I'm going to carry on with this? Because it must be quite difficult if you do become a traitor to then have to suddenly switch your game plan and your personality and the way you talk to people around.
Yeah, that'd be a tough switch around, wouldn't it? To have to change the way you play, because that would be an obvious thing to spot, isn't it? It's like you're acting differently, and again, that's something people are saying, isn't it? I can't remember who accused Maddie, but yes, I do. Faye. Faye accused Maddie of not talking to her.
Oh yeah,
which made her think that she had been recruited. So little things. It's been spotted. It gets spotted. People think that's a problem. It's interesting, but I don't know. I think there's a couple who I think would still join.
Who?
Well, having said how good I think he's being as a player, I think Kieran is a possible one.
Yeah, he would definitely.
Yeah, I think
sell
he would
his own
definitely
mother
jump
up the
in.
river.
Yeah, he would. He seems a bit untrustworthy.
Because it's interesting, because Andrea said, like, I thought I could be a traitor, but actually I don't think I could. She said that to everyone, didn't she? So there is obviously these people, because at the beginning, Claudia spoke to all of them, and every single one was like, yeah, I can be a traitor, when she did her little interview on episode 1. But obviously, Andrea's now being like, actually, no, I think I would have crushed under the pressure. So
What if they went into this? I don't think we've talked about this. I wonder if the contestants went into this knowing what this is. Do you know what I mean?
What, the game?
Yeah, because I feel like they thought it was a bit more lighthearted and fun than it's actually become.
Yeah, you don't know. You don't know if some of them had watched the other
Dutch
versions,
version,
maybe, but
or
it
the
wasn't really
Australian.
well known, wasn't it?
I think the Australian version aired after they recorded this. The only version I can think of that hadn't done, because Claudia Winkleman said in an interview that she was shown that version in order to be persuaded to do it, was the Dutch version. So how would they have gotten the Dutch? I mean, the thing is that I think that if you're into kind of like reality television, you find these new shows, don't you? And you find a way. Because I remember the very first Big Brother, the first UK version of Big Brother, and I forget which contestant said it, but one of the contestants said that the reason, I think it was the nun. Do you remember the nun? I forget what her name was.
No.
It was the girl. She played the guitar, but she trained
Do you
to
have
be
short
a nun.
hair?
Yeah.
Yeah, I
She was
can't
gay.
remember her name.
I think she was Irish.
Rose.
Yeah.
I can't remember.
Rose
I
Taylor.
remember. I know her,
But
I
she,
can't remember her name.
I remember in her exit interview with Claudia Winkleman, she actually said that the reason she applied to be on UK Big Brother was because she watched the Dutch version, the original Dutch version. Endemol made the original version of it, didn't they? Those Dutch, they love their reality television, don't they?
Yeah, they're twisted reality shows where they torment people. So there you go. So what is your bets then on who's going tomorrow then? Alex?
I think it's Alex.
Yeah.
I do think it's Alex.
I think it'd be a shame to get rid of Amos.
Yeah, only because you like the montages.
Oh
You just
yeah,
want-
of
you just want
course.
see
I
the
need to
story
see the
continue.
third act of the story.
Are you gonna like to make a
Tucking
video?
himself into bed.
You're gonna make a video of like there's like
Amos's journey.
yeah, Amos's journey in the form of flashbacks. Yeah, no, I think
I don't
you're
even
right.
want either of them to. I think both of them are good game players, so I don't really. It's getting to that point where you're getting to know the people, so it's not as easy to sort of just brush them off.
That's it, because we've had a couple of favourites who we kind of like joke around with from the beginning, but now we're actually becoming quite friendly. The only one that I'm not particularly gelling with has to be Faye, strangely, and I don't know.
I don't mind
why.
Faye.
I don't know why it is. I mean, I'm not.
She reminds me of a prison officer. Don't know why.
I'm not mad keen on Wilfred, to be honest with you. I feel like he's lucked himself out being a traitor. I think if he wasn't a traitor, he would be gone by now. He would have been eliminated. I don't think he would have been murdered. I think he would have been banished.
I don't like. I've gone off Wilfred ever since he did that to Alyssa because I just thought that was so horrible. And but Amanda's evil, but in like a good camp way. So I like Amanda.
Yeah.
So that she gets an easy pass.
She gets a pass, aye.
But I mean, apart from everyone else, though, I've grown to quite like all the cast now. So it's not as easy to just draw a line under them.
There's in the trailer tonight for tomorrow's episode, or sorry, Thursday's episode.
Yes.
They've moved the episodes around. There was a mention that the traitors have to murder in plain sight.
Oh yeah.
What do you think that means?
I don't know. I was wondering if maybe they have to convince. It must be round the round table. Do they have to convince the person to be banished? They have to say. I don't know how it would work.
Well, basically they
They say, "Oh, I want to murder Faye." You have to convince the majority of the vote to vote for Faye, something like that.
Oh, so they have to outright say, a bit like snooker when you have to say what colour ball you're going to pot.
Sorry,
they have
what?
to say, any snooker lovers out there will know that analogy. So they have to say, right, we want to kill Alyssa. For argument's sake.
Faye.
Okay, we have to kill.
Alyssa's
gone. Yeah, I know, just picking names of it. But I want to kill Faye. They say that to Claudia. They write it down as a declaration.
Yeah, and they have to get the majority votes.
And then they have to get them then on the round table for Faye to get the elimination.
But what's their punishment if they don't?
That's my question.
One of them gets killed.
Could it be that they're given an object?
And they have to hand it to
and
someone.
they hand the object to someone, and then that's the indication that they're going to be murdered. But
There's two traitors though, so what? They both hand them a hat. I don't know what plain sight.
would that, plain sight?
Maybe everyone's going to vote. Maybe everyone votes. Oh, I don't know.
Oh, it could be.
So that's what I was just
Well,
like.
it could be.
In my head, it made sense. And when I was about to turn it into vocal words, it didn't make sense. I had to stop
We're not
myself.
saying out loud. It could be that again. They have to, whoever the traitors vote for is who will be eliminated. So if it would look odd if only 2 people voted for one person,
And
they ended up getting eliminated. So then the group know that perhaps they're dodgy. Do you think? So then they have to convince more people to vote for that person, so it doesn't look so it doesn't look obvious that they're the ones who voted them out. Maybe it's that. So whoever Wilf and Amanda vote for will be the person who goes, but they have to then. So their name is shown on the blackboard.
Yeah. So if they were the only 2 people to vote for them. And then
people
they
know
go,
there's
people are like, oh, those 2 look dodgy. Yeah.
Something
That's very convoluted and messy, so it could be correct.
Well, it's not that convoluted. It's quite similar to your first theory. It's just that there's the added danger that there's their name that they write on those small blackboards is in plain sight, so it's seen by everyone. And then Claudia Winkleman will be like, "Oh, but we're not going to tell you who's getting banished until later tonight, or tomorrow when you see who's back from the breakfast table."
I wonder if there's going to be a twist on the Shield one episode where like they can give a poison shield, and whoever gets the shield is actually killed or something. I wonder if they're going to do something like that, or they can put a dodgy shield in a box. Because that room's a bit too safe for me. Needs something a bit of danger added to those boxes. There'll be a dagger inside one of them instead of a shield.
Yeah, you could do that. Well, instead of a shield, they get the dagger, the poison or a poison chalice, and that would then they then become a traitor.
Oh yeah, without a choice.
So they become a traitor without having option.
See, hope you're listening, Studio Lambert.
ideas
for Series 2.
If you need ideas, we're here.
Okay, well there you go then. So that's us. We're not here tomorrow because
there's no
episode because they've changed the schedule randomly. Because it was meant to be Wednesday, and then they changed it back to Tuesday because
football.
Someone left the World Cup? I don't know, something like that.
England.
Oh yeah, that was it. So
I am faithful.
That's us.
Good night.
That's us done, I think. There's one more.
That's actually poo.
Yeah. So there you go. So we'll be back. Oh, what?
Well, I was going to say, should I quickly remind people how they can find us outside of the podcast?
Yes.
So there's the Twitter.
Whatever so popular
Twitter.
on Twitter.
Oh, there's the Twitter. Oh dear, I'm showing my age. At Traitors Podcast. At Traitors Podcast. There's our email, faithfultothetraitors@gmail.com.
Have we got an email yet? I don't think we have we?
I'll be on it.
I've not
We
looked.
may have, but I haven't checked.
No.
So I apologise.
We've
But
had some tweets though.
we've had a few tweets from people, and we've had some really lovely reviews as well from people on Spotify,
Oh yeah, 5
Apple
stars.
Podcasts. So
just like we asked.
yeah, well, just please rate us. So we can
Please.
please, because if you put a comment on why you've given us that rating.
Oh, I know a thing. Write a review for us. You can say who you think, if me, Ben, or Alex is a faithful traitor.
Oh, that's a good point. Yeah.
So let us know in your 5-star review. I think that may be against the rules. Actually, I'm not allowed to ask that. But if you want to, do it. Get a bit of a 5-star
That's something a
review.
traitor would say. That's for certain. But yeah, no, because it gets our name out there and it gets more people to listen to us. And share it with your friends.
We're still waiting for acknowledgement from Claudia. So
yes, Claudia, come on, come say hello to us. We love you. But yeah, if you have friends who watch trailers, if you have friends around your house and you all kind of watch the trailers together, and afterwards you're like, "Oh, that was nice." Don't talk to each other. Listen to us.
exactly.
Yeah. But yes, thank you to everyone who's been joining in recently. It's been lovely hearing from you all. So thank you so much.
Cool. So that's another one done then, and we'll see you in the next one.